Well, it's Saturday morning, and it is time for us to kick off the Experts program by talking with our high-tech expert, Luis Alvarez, as we get into technology talk here on Saturday morning. Luis, how you doing?
I am doing great, my friend, getting ready for the Thanksgiving week, the short Thanksgiving week.
That's right.
Because we're off on Thursday and Friday, and it's my favorite time of year, my favorite holiday: food, fun, football, and family. So I notches all the tick marks.
Hey, by the way, speaking of football, your Dolphins have had a couple of very good wins the last 2 weeks. On Sunday the 9th, they beat the Bills convincingly 30-13. Yeah. And then last week on the 16th, a 16-13 win in overtime over the Washington Commanders. So
in Madrid, Spain.
Yeah.
They can claim they were the first American football team to win a game in Madrid, because I'm sure there'll be others. But yeah, hope springs eternal, as we like to say, and they're not out of it yet. I mean, their record is 4-7, so they have to basically sweep the remaining games to get even into the playoff conversation. But even John Gruden predicted that they would get into the playoffs. So who knows?
Well, that'll be interesting if they do make it, and a real turnaround. By the way, I did not realize that Serena Williams is one of the co-owners of your Miami Dolphins.
Yep, she has a minority stake and shows up to games and apparently is a really good fan of the team. So it's awesome.
Alrighty, hey, speaking of football, there's plenty of it this week. Of course, on Thursday, the Lions and the Cowboys always play separate games that day, tradition. There's going to be a college game or two that day, and I think there's a third pro game in the afternoon. So there's a lot of football along with turkey and the pumpkin pie. And I imagine, you going out of the area to visit family?
Yeah, our tradition has been we go up to the Bay Area where my mother-in-law and sister and brother-in-law live, and we go up there and all get together and celebrate. They have a big park that they do a turkey trot Thursday morning, which is a popular walk-run thing. So we'll do that and get out in the fresh air. Promises to be a nice Thanksgiving, not too cold or wet. So looking forward to it.
Well, sounds like it'll be fun. And what are you responsible for bringing?
We are going to be bringing a honey-baked ham.
Oh, nice.
And we're going to be bringing pies from the farm. The farm is that place over there on
68
near Sparkles Boulevard.
Yes.
Yeah, in the off 68, and they make amazing pies. So we'll be bringing a couple of pies up for the family. They always insist.
Well, I'm bringing a pie homemade and rolls to my aunt's house for Thanksgiving. They try and keep what I have to do, limited, so I don't goof it up. They'd never trust me with a casserole, and they're right. Anyway, but looking forward to the holiday. Short work week and just a lot of fun in the start of the holiday season. The topic that we've got today is the melding of humans and robots on the factory floor, learning to work as partners. And this is out of a website called unite.ai. So what's going on with this?
Well, there's a new phrase that you're going to hear more and more about called cobot. And cobot stands for collaborative robots. And what these are robots that interact with humans on the factory floor or in a warehouse or maybe out even in the field to help people do their jobs better. When you think about the old image of factory robots, if you've ever seen video of a car factory that's pretty automated, you have those giant arms swinging left and right, and they try to keep people out of those areas because robots are not good at those robots are not good at avoiding humans. But these cobots are really designed to work with humans, so they have detection systems on them so that they can, run across the floor. Think of them as like a Roomba, right? That are skirting across the floor, maybe carrying packages. It's becoming very popular for these robots to work in warehouses, like in the new Amazon warehouse that's going in Salinas, where people walk amongst the robots and the robots walk amongst the humans. So they have to be able to avoid each other and not crash into each other. So these cobots are designed to work cooperatively with people in the workplace. So much so that Amazon recently announced that their vision over the next 10 years is to double in size, so double their revenue and double their output, but yet keep the same number of employees as they currently have. So the only way that they can do that is if they make those employees much more efficient by automating a lot of the processes that happen in the warehouse and by using robots to really replace the humans that they otherwise would have had to hire.
So this is going to be a new thing, and we're going to see it really take root at the Salinas Amazon factory.
Yep, absolutely. absolutely. And you're seeing it too. And a lot of people don't think of ag as a place where robots and automation takes place. But if you look at the newest of the manufacturing facilities, like the Taylor Farms plant that got rebuilt in Salinas, if you ever have a chance to look at it, you Google video and look at YouTube and search for Taylor Farms, and you'll see a video of how automated that plant is, to the point where very few humans are actually doing anything other than taking the finished product and putting it into trucks. Mm-hmm. So it's highly automated, and it's what the future of manufacturing and warehousing is all about.
I guess in the New York Times they have a story today that Amazon is planning to replace more than 500,000 jobs with robots. So there is kind of a human cost to this as well.
There is, but it's also a reflection of the fact that people are hard to find. As an employer, I can tell you there's some issues around unemployment numbers going up, and just this past week there was a report that the unemployment rate has got ticked up a little bit, and that's true. But there's certain skills, especially manufacturing and warehousing and production, where finding people is difficult, and so Amazon has recognized that and said, look, we're going to have to automate. We're going to have to use robots more and more, not necessarily because we want to replace our humans, but because we can't find them, and they're getting more expensive when we do find them. I was talking to Bruce Taylor recently, and he was mentioning that nobody wants to work in the fields anymore, right? So they're going to have to find ways to automate the work that's being done right now by people out in those fields, and so they're investing a ton of money in automation and robotics, and they're hoping that it pays off.
I was reading a story earlier this week about people not wanting jobs, particularly where they work with their hands, and the CEO of the Ford Motor Company was complaining that he says, we've got thousands of jobs available for mechanics starting at $150,000 a year, and we can't find qualified people.
Yep.
And that just blows me away.
Dilemma.
And it really goes to, what's that fellow's name, Mike? Oh, the guy that does the program about dirty jobs. And he really pushes VocTech, vocational education. Yeah. And Mike Rowe, the guy with dirty jobs. And it goes right into what he's talking about, that, a lot of times, a young man, young lady, if you were looking for a job that is one that not necessarily can be outsourced, you want to do something in the skilled trades. And you are going to have a certain amount of technology knowledge to be able to work in these jobs. It's not the old days of just, elbow grease and so forth. You have to be conversant with technology, which a lot of younger people are. But I would think that, like, if you're sitting there and looking at an office job that's going to be eliminated, you might think about going into an area where they can't replace the human being, where you have to be part of it.
Yeah. I mean, you think about all the jobs that don't take college degrees. I'm on the board of directors for Rancho Cielo Youth Camp, and we have a vocational training program out there, training kids on trades, including, by the way, you'll appreciate this, how to fix classic cars.
Oh, yes.
Because, auto mechanics who are skilled at restoring cars and maintaining these old cars are hard to find.
Yep.
And so this program is supported by several organizations, including a car club out of Pebble Beach, and they know that they need to train these future mechanics, and they're not going to come from Ivy League schools. They're going to come from, working class backgrounds. So these kids are going through this program, and they already have jobs waiting for them as soon as they graduate.
The car club I'm a member of, the Gold Coast Rods, every year we do a club outing to a Friday night dinner at Rancho Cielo, and that includes a tour of the facilities, and everybody is always thrilled to be able to go into the shop where they're doing the auto restoration and see what the kids are working on.
I have a good friend of mine that has an old Alfa Romeo convertible that he's going to take over there to have some work done, because the kids want to learn on a car, and he's willing to let them bunk around in his car to learn.
Well, that's pretty cool. Luis Alvarez is joining us today. He's the CEO of the Alvarez Technology Group. Online, you'll find them at alvareztg.com. At AlvarezTG is their X handle, and Luis, the toll-free number for the I-Team.
Give us a call at 866-78-I-TEAM. That's 866-784-8326.
And looking ahead to Monday, we've got Black Friday to talk about, right?
Yep. It's not Thanksgiving unless there's a Black Friday attached to it. So tune in to learn more about the deals that you might see on Black Friday.
The fun starts 8:30 Monday morning here on Power Talk Radio. Luis, have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, the same to Ronnie, and we will chat again next Saturday.
Take care, my friend. You too.